take it down. good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sci-Fly. New systems, new settings, new stories. I'm David Monroe, your game master. One might call me the manager, corporate manager of this little charade we're putting on tonight. And tonight we have a few surprises for you all. The first of which is our team's first temp. Our corporate criminals are going to need some help with this next mission. So, joining us tonight is Rochelle Thompson, the cartographer extraordinaire, longtime friend of our silly little show, who has done an immense amount of amazing things for us. Joined us in our live show. Our grave cleric, not death cleric, which I often mistake. Rochelle, welcome to Sci-Fly.
Woohoo!
Hey.
Oh, this is so exciting, and less exciting than that, of course, is Jeremy Wolf and Steven Rodriguez. They're here again. Sorry.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong. No one, you don't get fanfare. How are we all feeling tonight, guys?
Much better than last week.
Great.
Sure.
Yeah, a death marked improvement.
Yeah, we're on. We're
over
here.
last week.
I know. And also, this worked out so well. Rochelle was sick. Steven had no internet. My soul was a burning crisp. Jeremy was all right.
Yeah, Jeremy was fine.
I
was fine.
Hey.
I was good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I guess 1 out of 4 business as usual is not too bad, but
Oh man, I'm excited. It's been too long since our last Blades in the Dark game, Forge in the Dark game, our last romp in Afterlife.
A month and a week.
A month and a week. So I wanted to say one thing, because we always do this in our show. We gotta talk about wedgies. Wedgies are our mistakes. When we make a goof up, we gotta talk about our goofs up. I made a goof up last time. Now, it's not a gameplay goof up. I didn't find any of those, actually. I'm sure there were some, and if I didn't have one, throw me under the bus in the chat. Get me. Beat me up. But here's one. It's a narrative wedgie. It's a stupid one, but I gotta say this. I said that Switch's, Connor White's film series that he was a big part of was Mission Improbable. It is not. It was Mission Unthinkable. I said it in the first episode, and that name is funnier, so that's the actual canon name. Mission Unthinkable, where he played with his old buddy Christoph Morrow. Was it Mission Unthinkable 14? Time's up, you die now, I think. So that's canon. And yeah, with that embarrassment out of the way, I think we can open this thing up. Tonight, we're going to get pretty wild. We're going to get crazy. We're going to get weird. And honestly, we're going to bring in some horror elements, I think, into our story. It's going to get maybe even a little scary. So be warned about that. We're going to get into some of the darker, really science fiction-y aspects of this setting. So we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun. Before we have fun, let's get a little sad. Let's get a little sad. Hey, shut up. So, let me open us up on a little scene here. So we have a new character to introduce. I want to open on the sterile white hallways of a hospital. We see the stylized heart arrow logos of medical conglomerate Heart Trade, emblazoned on coats and scrubs of passing staff and plastered on white walls. Amidst moving forms and quiet chaos, one figure stands out to us, walking with purpose towards a door at hall's end, perhaps fidgeting with a paper. And Rochelle, would you describe this person for us?
so she's got really like messy bun, black hair, not like too thin, but very thin, all in black, very pale blue eyes, and definitely very nervy at the moment.
I think you reach this door at hall's end and you slowly push it open. And as you do, we open into a small hospital room. And the first thing we see is a young woman sitting up in her bed. Her long, she has light brown hair falling down onto a sketch pad in her lap. Though she sits tall, you can see how much your sister has diminished over these last few years. Her skin, once constantly tanned by the sun's kiss, has grown pale and clammy. Her frame, once strong, has begun to atrophy. Her hands shake as she draws in her pad with an assortment of colored pencils. She's reaching down and switching it up. Her light blue eyes are narrowed in concentration, and you can see that she is breathing and sweating much more than her position should require. And even so, as she feels your presence at the door, sort of creaks open. You see a devious smile kind of breaks onto her face, though her eyes do not leave her work, and just puts a finger up. Hey, sis. Oh, just 1 sec. Putting the finishing touches on now, and voila. And she kind of looks to you with a smile and a kind of weak wink and turns her sketch pad around. And you see a copied image of her. You see very notably untouched lunch tray. It's kind of pushed off to the edge of her bed. You see the various items on it have taken on humanoid visages that look uncannily like a number of very strict nurses you've met over the last few weeks. And she just goes on, I call it hospital lunch. I think I'll hang it up, let everyone see it. And she kind of tosses it casually aside, lets it slide down top of a small pile of other images, nearly all of which show some crudely remembered hiking summit or forest glade that Sophia used to frequent. She looks out the window towards the sad, monotonous gray of the parking lot and just kind of sighs, this weary sigh that seems to shake her entire chest. And so, how was work? Another exciting chapter in the life of a PiRon IT agent?
Oh, always exciting, always with the numbers and stuff that bores you to death, so we don't need to talk about that.
I honestly think I have been more bored than you. And that is incredible.
I'm not going to argue with that one. Yeah. There is something of note.
Sits up a little taller. She's looking at you.
I qualified today.
Qualify? Do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
We're going to Afterlife?
Yeah, we are.
Oh my gosh. You've worked so hard. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is amazing, sis. This is amazing. Right?
I hope so. Yeah,
What do you think it's
anything
like?
I could do for you?
I
mean, it's supposed to be here, but better, right? Like,
I think that's what they say. I mean, it must go on for ages too. A whole world. I bet it's like an endless forest, or mountains, real or fake. I can't wait to explore it, all of it, for us both to explore it together.
Yeah. Well, you get a head start on me, I'm afraid, but yeah.
That's okay. I'll see you on the other side. And here I want to cut.
Yeah.
Here I want to cut ahead in time just a little bit. And I want to put my music on repeat because I forgot again.
That Fantasy Plus rolling.
Get Fantasy Plus back rolling. Let's switch it up too.
Mood.
So I want to cut to our modern day some years after this exchange. I want to cut into Afterlife, which is not an endless forest with beautiful mountains. It is so very different. This monotonous cityscape. A pixelated sun in the sky, a sky that never really grows brighter than black. Neon signs provide the light here. It is a sad, sterile place, much like the hospital room we just saw. And let me ask you, Olivia, here in Afterlife, what do your current dwellings look like? And I need you to understand that given that you are paying for 2 subscription fees alone, they're not good.
So it's a dumpy, what would be efficiency apartment, except it's gotten like a ghetto partition to create a second bedroom because it's 2 people in an efficiency. And one of those people is not working.
Yeah. Well, perhaps we see you, let's say, maybe coming back from a day of work. Perhaps you're still Well, your job situation's been a little in flux, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Because you were
Yeah.
PiRon IT, but not anymore.
No.
There were some questions you had in your mind after your very sudden death. I think this is probably a couple years following that. You've probably been in Afterlife. You know enough about Afterlife. You've lived here. You've been amongst the thrum of the city. You've seen the sorrow it brings with it. What do you remember of your death?
So she remembers walking on the street, on the sidewalk, going to wait at a traffic light and to cross, and then suddenly being in the road in front of a bus, and then nothing, and no idea how she gets in the road.
Scary thing. A haunting question. When you find yourself in this place where you feel like you are just a tool to be used and tossed away, the callous behavior of those who hold the noose above you, it is, I imagine, scary to think back on that uncertainty that surrounded your death.
Particularly since I'm no longer in IT.
No. What are you doing these days, or is it all under the table sort of work?
So I think there's definitely some official like marketing kind of like lowbrow IT, but it's not really IT. Like the official bread and butter, because you still have to work in Afterlife.
Yeah.
But she's definitely branched out.
Gotta pay those bills. I mean, if you don't,
Exactly.
you're going to improvement. And
Yeah.
so is she.
Yeah.
Perhaps you come home from another hard, boring day. As you kind of push open your door, I imagine it sticks a little bit as you're kind of fighting it open. Maybe there's stuff kind of on the floor in the way, a mess left behind that wasn't there when the day began. And you step into your dumpy little apartment. You see that sort of partition blocking the other side, the room that would belong to Sophia, and you hear immediately sounds that disturb you, things crashing and breaking. You could hear them slowly muffled in the hallway, and you probably sighed and you knew something was wrong, and you come barging in. What do you do?
Trying to be super like chill and low key, and just start saying, Soph, are you okay?
And you just hear like a faint cry. They see us. They see us. They see us. Do you approach?
Yeah.
You move around that partition. You move to the side to like get a view in, and you see her room, her space has been entirely destroyed. You see that the blankets on her bed have been shredded, left in like tatters all over the place. The bed itself kind of ripped into. You don't know how she got the knife. You, I imagine, had them all locked away or removed, but she has one. And she's holding it. And she's looking at you. They see us right now. Look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. My eyes are real. My eyes are not their eyes. Their eyes. They're lies. It doesn't belong to us, and they know it. Hands shaking on the knife.
Honey, can you give me the knife? I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Are my eyes real? Are they
Yes.
real? And they get closer to her eyes.
They're real. They're yours. Don't hurt them.
They're real. They're mine. They're real. They're mine. They're real. They're mine. They're mine. It just drops to the floor, and she just slowly sits down at the edge of her just destroyed bed and stares staring at nothing. Perhaps staring past the veil, staring into the data stream. You don't know what she sees, what she's seeing right now, what she had seen. But you know she changed. When you appeared in Afterlife, maybe the one comfort you had in your mind, despite the very sudden death you faced, was you could find Sophia, you could see her again. And she'd be so happy. Because it's all she wanted, and this is what you found. This is who you found. You don't know what happened to her. Olivia, you are what we call a whisper. In fact, I'm going to pull us. I'm going to change our scene a little bit. I'm going to put us on the map so I can show off your sheet. Here we are. Let's find which tab is after. Okay, I'm going to go and go in here. Now, typically in Blades of the Dark, a whisper is someone who can reach into the what's called the ghost stream. They can speak with, or sorry, the ghost field, I think, and they can speak with the spirits of the dead that have passed. It's a little different here. You are a whisper, which is the same term, but you are a data diver and a hacker. You have the ability to see into the data stream that encompasses everything. This is sort of echoes of the past, what data's been recorded, projections of what's going to come in the future. This is the code that feeds every single thing that happens in this world, every action, all the physics, every moment kind of preserved and sealed and trapped and flowing like an endless river of numbers and code. And you have experience with code. You have experience, and even though it doesn't really translate in the exact way, you can, in a way, focus and attune your mind and reach into this place. You can see into the data stream. We have, under your special ability, something called, I call it deep code. It's a updated one for our setting, our game. You know the secret ways to consort with AIs, data beasts, or super viruses. We'll get into what these things are eventually, but what's important to know here is you are aware there are things out there beyond Afterlife, beyond the mask, the veil, beyond this city, in the endless data that surrounds it. There are minds out there. And your sister, her words, they see us. Our eyes are not their eyes. I think it strikes a chord of fear somewhere deep, deep within you. I think perhaps you've approached this exact sort of field of work and study and interest because you know this is the way to potentially help her. Maybe out there amidst the mysteries, there is an answer to the question, how can I save Sophia? Maybe. The knife is dropped. What is your immediate action following that?
Catches the knife with like the tip of her shoe and just kind of pushes it out of peripheral, and then just kind of gathers Sophia up off of her destroyed bed and takes her into the other room and basically tucks her into her bed that isn't destroyed.
Oh, no.
And like sits with her and like, you know, I don't know, maybe like lullaby time, like rubbing her back till she goes to sleep. And then goes and gets the knife and locks it up, probably with a collection of similar sharp implements that have appeared over the history of their time together.
Yeah.
And then starts to make some semblance of like trying to clean up the destroyed apartment. And I would imagine this is not the first time she's had to basically reset the apartment.
You're already so weary after this long day working for two people, and now, I mean, gosh. Hey, reach over here. They don't mean anything in this game, but take a butt.
Hell yeah.
Don't do anything with them.
There we
But take a
go.
butt.
Let's get this button economy rolling.
And as we see you going to clean this space, hearing the soft sort of whimpers turning to snores of Sophia, who finally moves off to a very restless sleep, let's pan away from Olivia. And don't worry, we'll come back. But I want to see the home lives of our other characters now. And to start, Marge, I'd like to know what your dwelling looks like.
Okay. Do I get any guidance, or do I have full reign here?
You have full reign. I mean, you're not going to have a huge place. Afterlife is a city
Sure.
with a lot of people in it. But I mean, you're going to have a better. You and Russ are both working, right? Russ, up until this point, has been frying at a local, I think, Sergeant Sandwich. So nothing too exciting, nothing that's going to bring home any huge bills, but he's helping. And you were like, upper HR, so you're in a pretty good spot coming into this world. You've also already kind of started doing a little bit of work for your patron breeder. So I think you have a rather splendid place, and maybe if you're at it,
Well,
you might have some birds up in that place you can describe for us. 'Cause
sure.
that's kind of a thing.
Totally. I don't think that even if Marge had the means for a quote unquote nice place, it would be modest. So I'm imagining wood paneling on the walls. There's probably a beige couch, maybe with like an orange floral pattern, thick shag rug,
Oh no!
and shelves and shelves of auto babies.
So many
On
auto
the walls.
babies.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on. I'm sorry, David. Somebody's here. Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Oh, someone's in the house. Okay. Wait, what?
Whoa.
What's happening? What's he doing?
Hmm.
Someone's randomly showing up to his house?
Of course, today, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh my god.
What is that? No! Oh my gosh!
Tonight,
Oh my gosh!
I am Marge.
Honestly, it's an improvement.
Holy shit.
Get that ponytail out of here!
Oh, Marge.
God.
Oh. Oh, that's wonderful.
That's so good.
Oh,
So good.
So, step it up, guys.
doesn't mean anything.
Step
but
it up.
take
That's
a
all I'm
bite.
saying. Oh, I got a button. Marge gets a
Nice.
button.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wow. All right, yeah. I got dressing up. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Got my cheaters on and everything.
Oh, wow. All right, all right. Marge,
Yes?
you're in your place, your quaint little place, your wonderful orange couch, floral couch. I imagine perhaps you have it's probably not a studio, you probably have like a room there, right? Is a multi-bedroom?
Well, probably, a bedroom for Marge and Russ, and a room for the auto babies and other hobbies. Marge isn't a big sewer, but maybe she wants to sew a dinner napkin here or there, or a pair of Russ's work pants. So I'll call it a hobby room. Is the second bedroom.
Perfect. Unless say you're walking by the hobby room, maybe you're getting ready in the morning, you're about to head out to your day, and you're kind of just getting everything ready, putting your earrings or whatever, and you're just having to pass by that room. You can see that a number of things. We're sewing something, slide to the side. It's a little more cluttered than it used to be, as on one of the tables there is basically turned into a makeshift desk. Sitting with a little laptop. You see, Afterlife has internet access. It's important to note, can only connect to the outside world at certain terminals. Information going out is scanned thoroughly, so it's not like you can just go on Facebook and see what everyone's doing in the real world, because no one wants what's happening in Afterlife to get out. But there is internet throughout the city, within the city, right? people do work in the city, and so you see Russ is setting up to begin a day of his new job. It's probably been a few weeks since our last score, and Russ has been working. You see he's kind of sliding on a headset, sitting down, kind of groans. He sits down to see. He's got a half calf with him, of course, kind of shaking. And yeah, you're passing by, and he speaks to you, Marge. He initiates a conversation, which is already weird. Oh, you in now, Marge?
Yes, I've got a lot to do. Early start and all.
How's my tie looking? I got a video meeting today.
Marge walks over and
Can't figure
adjusts
out
it a little.
Camera. Just kind of playing with his camera on his laptop. I think he has like a camera plugged in, but you can see it's already a camera in the laptop, and you're like, okay, well, he has no idea what he's doing.
She adjusts his tie. You look very handsome, Russ.
Oh, thank you, honey. This new job it's interesting. I'm just taking calls, sending emails, scheduling meetings at different floors on different buildings. It changes every day. It's all vague nonsense, like speaking in code most of the time. These emails, it makes me feel like he gets kind of nervous, sort of set in his face. It's not all honest, you know? And you don't know anything about this. You know, Mr. Coolidge asking an old fry cook to be his remote personal assistant. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, new is refreshing, right? And if things are different, we'll keep it interesting. And Mr. Coolidge, I think he enjoys having somebody authentic like you around to break up all of the dishonesty that you're feeling. Maybe everyone around feels it. Maybe you're a breath of fresh air.
Dishonesty. Yeah, it's good to get a break from that, I suppose. And of course, I know you'd never lie to me, Marge. Lying hurts, and you'd never hurt me. Ever. Right?
You're such an asshole.
You've
I
never
never
told
watched
him what you did. By all reasoning, he can't know. He shouldn't know. He was asleep. And yet sometimes you swear.
She pats his head, ruffles his hair, straightens it back out.
Thank you. All right. It just took me forever to get that just right. All right. That's better.
Is there anything else you need before you get started? A refill? Look over your resume?
No. He actually looks like he kind of coughs. No. And sort of shuffles sort of awkwardly in his chair and almost looks like a little guilty. And then he just sort of shakes his head. Actually, before you go, there's a new show coming out on Magic's Max tonight. Foul Motives, but like foul like the bird foul. So noir detective thriller sort of thing, but with birds. I figured you like birds, so
I think I heard of this one. Wow, it's tonight. It's so soon.
it's the release. Yeah, first step tonight. Maybe we can watch it together.
We're recording it, right? I don't want to. What time is it on?
7 p.m. I think is the release. Pops out. I mean, it's on the Magic's Max, so I can just pull it up anytime. It's just this is a big release night.
Okay, 7 p.m. Yeah, that would be really nice, Russ. Thank you.
And I think like you're maybe a little floored. This hasn't happened in a long time. he's barely talked to you for months now, but maybe with this new job, maybe things really are going to get better, March. Maybe your master plan for your marriage is still in the works. Maybe.
Maybe. Not if the heist runs long and Marge is late to the premiere.
Heist doesn't even today. You can choose when the heist is. It's all right. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not
Oh my god! I
through
thought
it.
you were. I thought you were setting me up for failure.
I could not handle describing a sad old man just sitting there watching this TV alone, just kind of checking his. I couldn't do it. No, it's too bad. It's too much. It's too much. No, yeah, you feel like you probably get back in time. So maybe you head out to start your day.
Yep. She gives Russ a kiss on the top of his head and heads out to start her day.
You turn away. He turns back to his screen, and as you move out the door, we just see you are followed by the eyes of like probably 100 birds. Sitting bird stuffies just sitting all over the shelves in this room.
Oh, he's interviewing in the hobby room. I didn't catch
just all over the place.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's amazing.
This camera's gonna catch all of them. It's great. And with that, the door closes behind you. And as we hear that sound, black screen, we open up on a third apartment. Switch. You haven't had the easiest time here in Afterlife. You don't have a dual income, and you were immediately dropped by Magix when you appeared. We're doing commercials for Sergeant Soda. You know, you had your actor cred, so you immediately kind of got in contract with them. Magix probably made some money off of that, and you were, kind of bringing the old military hero shtick into these commercials. But that's not the kind of work that's frequent. It's not the kind of work that pays super well. I imagine your place is not going to be as nice as Marge's.
No. It's a studio apartment, crammed up in a city apartment building. It's the kind where you walk in and the only light that's ever on is the light above the stove. There's a small circular dining room table with a bunch of magazines and newspapers strewn about, maybe an old cold cup of coffee. He's got his mattress on the floor, no TV or any other furniture. Maybe a closet door open with a pile of dirty clothes in it, nothing else. And a small little balcony outside of a slider door.
The home of a bachelor, or in this case, the home of a widow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to make this even sadder because I thought of something.
Great.
Great to think about, but it's great. It's awful. It's the best kind of bad.
What are you going to do to me, David?
Afterlife has no images of the outside world. Actually, you know what? Maybe this wouldn't be the case for you. I was going to say, you wouldn't have any pictures of your family, would you?
No, he is trying to have zero reminders of anything in his previous existence.
Yeah.
He's deliberately living the way he is.
And yet, in your mind, you carry the thought of what Christoph Morrow told you just some weeks ago, that maybe it's not too late to get back at Connections, that cult working, all the celebrities working for Magix, actors, directors, all these people in the know.
On that note, I imagine probably on one wall, maybe he's got a dartboard with a couple images of various people connected with everything.
Right smack in the center, the actor that replaced you in your own movie series, whose name I don't have in these notes, so I'll say it later.
Just make one up. Go
Starts
ahead.
with a J. It's Jack. It's not.
It's real original.
You turn your attention towards this board, these images, and you're kind of looking at them, and you hear a sudden sound from outside your window, just this droning alarm ringing in the streets outside. You know this is the sound of a Death Seeker drone. These small black drones roam all through the city, reacting to the deaths of any citizens. You hear this, and perhaps your mind reflects on some unique characteristics of this world. A convenient expository stream of thoughts. Thank you, Switch. Because you see, there's a strange phenomenon here at Afterlife. One never intended its creation. One second, I got a note from my wife. Wait, do I sound really quiet? Oh, really? Oh, man, I thought it sounded good. Do I sound quiet to you guys?
You sound fine to us.
Weird.
Steven's muted now, though.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Sorry. No, you sound fine to me.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
It might not be carrying well into online. I don't know why that would be. Just want to check that. This is all up. This is all up. Huh. Should be going. I'll just speak louder. See what I can do. Sorry about that. I don't know why that's weird. Anyway, where was I? Okay, yeah. So, strange phenomenon here in Afterlife. One never intended in its creation. You see, as mentioned before, most physical, or basically, like in Afterlife, your bodies perfectly replicate their biological functions. We talked about this in the last one, I believe. You get tired, hungry, sick, you poop, as we found out last time. You can get hurt. These features play an important role in lining the pockets of those in power here. And so your body is, in essence, very real. And it can really die. But it can also be rebooted, you might say. At least that was the plan. A program running within the data stream, a resurrection program. If a heart stops for 8 hours, then the program activates. The person is resurrected to the very state they were in when they first were uploaded into Afterlife. And this would, of course, add a hefty addition to their subscription fee. But, hey, everyone wins, right? Right? Except something went very, very, very wrong with this program during Afterlife's first year. It started to change people. Bringing them back, but corrupted. Almost all of them losing their minds, becoming feral, monstrous things. Things that, in turn, became fonts of corruption themselves, able to push through walls and exist within the data stream themselves. They can also hack into living bodies or tear them apart bit by bit, or bite by bite. It's a computer thing. I got it, did it. These beings were quickly referred to as viruses, and they become a serious issue throughout the city. Now, thankfully, they're not too hazardous to contain before the program activates. When someone dies, there are 8 hours, a full work day, to find and contain their bodies before it changes. And this has become one of the main jobs for PiRon IT. That's what PiRon's former IT would do now. A lot of times they come in here, they're armed to take on these things, to contain them, and to make sure they do not get around corrupting the world and, creating more viruses. There have been rumors, though, lately. Troubling tales of a killer roaming the streets of Afterlife. One that seemingly activates the resurrection program instantly, creating viruses within the city limits. And you've been hearing these drones a lot lately. You've been seeing PiRon IT members scrambling through the streets and alleys armed with unique weaponry that can harm these monsters. Something about these tales, Switch, about this killer, brings ice to your virtual heart. Because while you are alone here in Afterlife, you did not arrive alone, and you know he's out there. You know. But with that, we've seen our sad little lives.
Yeah, thanks for getting us started off.
Yeah. On a good note, everyone's sad little lives. I want to talk about the plan. Let's move to a new scene. Boom, scene change. We're in the office beneath the shooters. This is your office where you hold your meetings. The two of you at this point get together and you plan out your next mission. Now, it's been a little time. Money's getting tight again. time for a job, right? You have a few lined up. Switch, I think we talked about this a little bit between weeks, so we'll just get into this right now. You don't feel the time is right to go after that book, that connections sort of document that might lead you to more answers. More ways to hurt those that hurt you. So
He knows how to play the long game.
yes, exactly. Yeah, play the long game, build up some resources. And when it comes to resources, it comes to getting a little up there. Breeder has been a great resource for you now, and Breeder has a job for you. Another one that he gave to Marge, and was probably laid out. You probably both, maybe you haven't shared your side yet, Switch, but I'm sure Marge would have shared with you what Breeder was asking. Now, this slam dunk that's gonna come down on Sergeant Soda is being produced by Kevin Clem, pretty big deal guy in the magic sort of corporate whatever. He's untouchable. All right, this guy at your current stage, you could try to go for him. It's going to be tough. Breeder basically said this is going to be a tough nut to crack, but he has a weakness, potentially. A producer assistant, Shannon Dukov, who would have basically all the files, every transcript, every interview, every sort of major beat and interview that's coming into this slam doc. That's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be all on her person, probably in her personal computer, because she's compiling all this information. So, with Kevin Clem, just renowned producer under constant contract with Magics, always deep in White Crown, heavy security, possibly wielding some level of administrative power, essentially, computer-generated superpowers. You can't touch him, and it's hard because Shannon works a lot, and when she works, she is always 2 feet behind Mr. Clem. She spends nights on sets or in offices, sleeping at her desk. Her home is also well secured. She lives within Mr. Clem's own suites. So, again, it seems like a tough thing, but no, you know what? I think to give you more, it'd be fun to start doing some rolls.
Yeah, let's roll some dice.
Here, let's roll some dice. Let's gather some information before this next mission. I'm going to let you, it's almost like we're peeking behind the screen of the mission. We're going to have dice rolls. There might be some minor complications, depending on what happens, that might follow you into this next one. But let's open up that roll 20 again here. Margin Switch. You have a target, Shannon Dukov. You know she's hard to reach, but there's got to be some crack in the armor. There's got to be a time and a place where you can get to her, right?
Right.
How you going to find out? What do you got for me?
Marge is... Who is Marge going to ask? I mean... Could Marge even...
Contracts? So you can ask contracts, and you could also do like a roll, study, survey, something. But yeah, I like that. I like where you're going with that. Okay.
Yeah. Then let's do a study roll. Maybe Marge can try to find some paperwork in the Sergeant Soda office. See what they already have on this lady.
I'm into it.
That's just 1 pip.
So pip. Okay.
Which die do I want? I'm going to use my red die here. It's a 6.
6. Perfect. Excellent. Nice. All right, no complications. I was going to start, potentially, she's getting the word that people are looking into her, which could have been complicated later, but we're not doing that.
That's great.
You were subtle. You were a devious mastermind about it, Marge. Let's see what you found out. I think what you find is it's interesting. It's information that might be. It's probably kind of more happenstance information, right? Something that came up over workplace cooler talk. Someone else mentioning it, and it kind of gets into the records somehow. And you find this, and you're like, oh, that is very interesting, because you learn that Shannon isn't always working, right? Like everyone else, she takes her weekends off. And during her weekends, she partakes in a rather unusual hobby. She's been setting it up lately. It's kind of something she doesn't do every weekend, but something she does sporadically here and there when as she spends time getting the resources prepared. You see, she's been working on a little documentary of her own. Perhaps trying to stand out, get out of the shadow of her boss, perhaps for fun. That's not so much known. But she's looking into an exploration of Afterlife's Lost District.
What does Marge know about the Lost District?
I think I can give you this information for free. This would be pretty notable stuff, and I'll actually show you on the map here. So, where I'm putting this little guy, the mark that I just made gigantic, and gigantic again. Yep. I can't pick it up. Now I'm gonna do this. There you go.
Whoa.
Boom.
That's a big mark.
It's a big mark. This area right here is Afterlife's Lost District, just outside the main sort of city island where you see like again, this is the great cement floor that is the warehouse, that giant forklift travel around. Across the channel, you have this area, this sort of abandoned district of the city. Now, if you notice on the map here, there's these glowing points, right, that kind of line around the entire city.
Yeah.
There's a little thing called the firewall, and it was created by PiRon IT to keep what's outside. What's outside is viruses. I don't want to get crazy into the lore here, but I will just say this. This Lost District was initially created for the gaming company Stormsmith. Stormsmith Entertainment, the J-Ron Saint, the CEO of PiRon, creator of Afterlife, huge fan of Stormsmith. They have this MMORPG called Fires of Zonda. He's a huge fan. He played a Naga, and so he actually based this whole area on the Naga capital city of Murdoch. The city of the Blue Torch, which itself was based on the traditional sort of medieval English castle town. So it's a weird amalgamation of old architecture and modern city stuff. It was really cool. Unfortunately, 2 years after Afterlife first went live, J-Ron released the first major update to the world, which was going to expand off of that. He wanted to basically build off of that, maybe add another area to the world outside, a whole sort of open wilderness, once again based on a region, a map from Fires of Zonda. But when the first update happened, an absolute cataclysm occurred. This is the first time they really tried to touch the code in Afterlife, really tried to change anything. And no one could foresee what happened next. There was a massive, what they call a glitch storm. Everyone outside in that district, their bodies would freeze, clip into the ground, their bodies torn to pieces. They might be frozen in place until starvation struck them. Like their beings became corrupted. And so, in the wake of this, viruses started spreading, born from all those that were killed, filling this district. And so PiRon IT, battling them off with whatever implements they could gather that could fight these viruses, eventually built this great wall called the firewall, this sort of data blocking gigantic structure that keeps them out. But Shannon wants to go out there to this abandoned district. And this might be the only chance to reach her. Maybe there's other spots, maybe you can find another way, but this, when it comes down to it, braving the virus-infested streets of the Lost District may be easier than moving into the very high security locations that exist within White Crown, the seat of the Myrtle Magics Company.
Is it possible to do a survey roll when you're not at a location? Can you do a survey roll about a location?
Hell yeah, I'm into that.
I'm really just trying to figure out, Marge is trying to figure out if there is any rumor, scuttlebutt about a break in the chain, a way in, a way through the firewall. She wants to try to figure out a hint or a clue as to how Shannon is getting there.
Okay. You know what? With your 6, I'm going to carry over something else for you.
Well, 6 was for study, to be fair.
It was for study. I just think that the house she gets in would probably be included in the rumors of
I'll take it. I'll take
it.
it.
Would be included. I was planning on giving you that. Okay. So I'll give it to you. If there's other ways, that will be a survey roll. So I'll tell you this though. You don't know if it's because she has someone high up above her that's powerful, or if a lot of money's changing hands, or what. What they say is PiRon IT is letting her out the gate. There is a gateway. They can open up. They can let her out. She's going out with a small squad of people that should be able to defend her from anything out there. I think it's just her, a cameraman, a squad of 4 armed, badasses ready to take on some viruses. That's
so
getting out.
So Magix knows that she's doing this? I thought she was making this documentary to like get out from under her boss. Like to like break herself into the limelight.
I mean, she certainly could try.
Okay. So it's not like that. It's not exactly malicious. She's just trying to make a name for herself.
It's not malicious. It's just dangerous.
It's not like gotcha. It's not like she's trying to like screw her boss over. She's just trying to get attention.
Yes.
Okay.
Perhaps even trying to impress him.
Mm-hmm. I took it as like she's trying to like take him down or something like that. Like, oh, I'm gonna show them what it's really like out there, and then they'll have no choice but to listen to me. All right.
So you know that survey. You asked about it if you can find any other holes in the system, right? That was your initial thought going into this. She's going out the official way. With a survey roll, maybe you can find at least a path to an unofficial way, right?
Yeah, or a rumor or something.
Yeah, I like it.
Let's see what we got. I got 2 pips in survey.
2 pips is pretty good.
4 and a 2.
Okay. Okay, so that means I get to create a complication.
Of course.
I'm going to create a clock here.
Yikes. Clock's already.
Yes.
Oi.
This is a kind of thing that like could be very... If you are looking into how to get out, right, of Afterlife, if there's like, maybe you're doing a survey, maybe you ask the wrong person, maybe word gets around, rumor starting that someone's trying to find, a hole in the cheese, right? So I'm going to put a 4-part clock. I'm going to put 1 pip on it now, which is basically while you're investigating this, PiSec catching on that something nefarious might be going on.
Okay.
But that's your complication. You do succeed. And what I'll say you succeed in is you realize there are holes. There are ways out, right? There are points, mostly artificially created, where the firewall has little openings. So processes that you can sort of activate that will kind of create a small hole you can move through and back from either side, because there are people who go out there illegally, who go out there to role play and hunt viruses, or who go out there to gather. Some people actually utilize viruses to create programs to do other things. So there are a number of places you can get out there from, and you would know this. You might not have the intel of how to get out there and how to deal with these things, but Breeder gave you a little black book with information on various people with various skill sets that may add to your own, more tools for your toolbox, so to speak. And you remember reading through it and seeing there was somebody, what the people on the streets call a whisperer. In the game, they call them whisperers, someone who is kind of on the in on how to deal with the more computery, the more digital issues here in Afterlife. Maybe you don't know how to get out, but this person, this angel, just might.
So Marge is like flipping through the book. She's running her finger down the pages, and finally she finds something promising, and she taps the name Angel on the page. That's the one for this job. Let's look her up, huh?
I think
I'll follow your lead.
think
Let's
just
see.
as you're looking into this, you pull up in the book, you see the name you pointed out. The two of you nod towards each other. If you guys want to take a pee break, I'm gonna try doing this time because last time I made you guys you had to sit there until you had to wet your pants the entire time. We're about to hit the hour
I was
mark.
just gonna ask.
If you want to take a pee break,
I
now's
want
the
to take a
time
pee break. Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah! And with that, guys, we're going to a break. We'll be right back for a few minutes. We'll call it there. And we're back. Hope everyone else is back too, because we're back in it.
David,
Yeah.
I want to answer a question from chat. Astro asked about Marge's bird room and how the auto babies are organized.
Oh, hey, Astro.
my vision was like Pokemon cards, how in the bottom corner they have a series number, like 103 out of whatever. That's what I imagine for the auto babies. So there's 01 out of, I don't know what the number is because I kind of want to leave it open-ended, but in fiction there is a number, and that's how I imagine they are organized, is by that release number sort of thing.
Okay. Do you have like gaps where you don't have the one, like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4?
Oh, totally.
5, then 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are probably very few gaps. If there's, I don't know, if there's a few dozen on the wall, well, probably more than a few dozen. Let's be real. What's the number? If there's 60 on the wall, maybe there's 8 gaps, 10 gaps. I think that's enough.
Okay.
So she's getting near to the end of her collection, but then there's always, just like Pokemon cards, they're always re-releasing. There's a new series coming out. But her base set, she's almost done collecting her base set.
It never ends, which is good. Always do something to relieve stress over. Fill those
exactly.
Gaps. Hell yeah. Okay. Perfect. You have made contact with Angel. And I'd like to open up on a scene where our characters here are together. Perhaps, or you tell me, where do you want to meet? You guys are calling up. You hunted this Angel, this Whisper of some dark renown in the game. And are you gonna meet up in your office under the shooters? Are you gonna go somewhere else? What's your plan?
Well, I want to hear what Switch thinks. Switch is kind of our security guy.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
But I have an idea if you don't.
I mean, Switch is the kind of guy that will set up a meeting in a back alley. So I don't know if Marge is entirely cool with that. But
well, here I'll tell you my idea, and then we'll figure out what we like. My idea was just in the shooters.
Oh,
okay. If you don't know that our office is in the basement, then it just seems like we're setting up in a regular dive bar. You know what I mean?
True.
Like we're just having a meeting in a shady bar.
Yeah, that works.
All right, hell yeah. Angel, a job suddenly, a very fruitful one.
Mm-hmm.
Was it 6 or 8 paychecks? I'll double check, but there are paychecks on the line. This can really help improve things in your home situation and build some bridges. Weirdly enough, they asked you to meet at a Shooters, a Sergeant Soda dive bar known for a lot of tight clothing on the servers, and it's kind of a weird pick, but
I don't feel like that phases Angel at all. Just like, all right, sure. God, I hope the beer's decent. Okay, moving in.
It'll be happy hour.
And so we cut to a raucous sort of establishment. Drinks are being poured. People are moving between tables. We see we're following a server as she's moving through. Kind of slides up to one small table, like, and you anything to drink? And she looks over at 3 characters. We see the fluffy head of Marge, the little glasses. We see Switch, just the strangest company to be sitting next to. And we see Olivia. We see Angel probably on the other side of the table. What's this all look like? What are you guys' postures right now in this first sort of meeting?
Marge is not bent over, but she's got her notebook out. She's ready to write and take notes. Ready to answer questions, ready to ask questions, and I think she orders an Earl Grey.
Holy shit.
All right.
It's still early. I've got to stay sharp.
Switch is kind of hunched over the table with his hands out in front of him, and in between his hands, he's just kind of fiddling with a glass of whiskey neat.
Okay.
Angel is kind of like the third person at the table, but like is like trying to find that position to have her back not totally to the room, right? Like that like right,
Yeah,
like
the mob
not gonna
boss
get
seat.
cornered.
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
not
exactly,
gonna
yeah.
be in the boss seat, and she's got like a jacket with all kinds of pockets on it, and like not all the way tinted sunglasses, but like that like light.
Oh,
Like
gosh,
almost
I love it.
rose-colored glasses, and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Nice.
just kind of doing a lot of that. A lot of like
Sounds very
getting in
Matrix.
the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has got a little Matrix vibe to it.
Strangest company. I love it. Just like, yeah. I mean, you got this call, email, whatever it was, and you probably didn't expect to see this motley crew, and a little old lady and former action star kind of hero. Strange world you find yourself in.
Who comes up with this shit?
I don't know. Wild. She also gets really snotty about like the beer tap selection. And,
Oh, I like Olivia.
orders whatever their least shitty beer is on tap.
I just imagine like you just get this email like meet us here, blah blah, this job, the sewing circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you show up and you're like, nope, Marge tracks. This makes sense.
Signed with that emoji that's like the needle and thread.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel like this is definitely not the weirdest place that Angel has ever met a contact before, but it is probably in the top 5.
Whoa, you sew pants.
What?
Pants. You
So
sew 'em.
pants.
Because we're fantasy pants, so it's a pants thing almost. Right? Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. I'm excited.
I think that's one of the reasons why Captain suggested the name.
Well, it took me a while. Let's cut to the chase here. They lay out the job for you, Olivia. I imagine, right? You just spill all? Is it the plan?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay. And you know what they're looking for is a way out. Essentially, that's one of the first things they're looking for. Now, I will say, Olivia, you are pretty well set to deal with viruses. On top of knowing the way out, you have sort of set with you in your inventory. You have technology that can help deal with these things better than most. Your sort of specialization in attuning to the data stream, super helpful. But you also do know of a way out. I'm going to give you this for free because your strange friend you chose is Quads, a free data programmer. Now, Free Data is essentially this revolutionary group within Afterlife. They're all pretty well versed in how to mess around with the data stream and sort of programming behind things. And they like to move into the Lost District to do a lot of their malign activities, going out there and beyond into the unfinished, sort of fully kind of unrendered territory that exists outside of the city, where all sorts of horrors and strange things can happen. But they know ways out. And because you're friends with one, you know ways out. I'll give you that one for free.
Awesome.
With that, you're aware there is perhaps a tunnel that moves underneath. There's a number of tunnels all throughout Afterlife built for utility reasons, and there's one that was built between Bright Stone, as we can see in our map here, and the Lost District. Down within this tunnel, there is a sort of disruption to the firewall, which does continue. It's not a physical wall. It's almost like this weird Aurora Borealis-esque like array of light that filters between different towers, but it goes way up, like 30, 40 feet high, and also kind of does continue down lower in some places. Here, it does not. Here, you can move through safely and freely, as long as you're not, caught on your way over. So you know there is a way out.
Okay.
With that in mind, is there anything else you guys want to do before you dive into this mission? Because pretty soon we're going to do what's called the engagement roll. Basically, when we do that, we start planning this actual mission out. We're going to talk about how you're going to start it off. In Blades in the Dark, you don't make plans. You don't plan things out ahead of time, really, at all. The only thing you plan for is your sort of en media res first scene, because we're in a heist movie. So when we go into this thing, our camera's going to open up, and we want to know what we're opening up to, and that's it. That's the only thing I need to know before we start this thing, because everything after that is either part of your plan all along. That's why you got flashbacks and all these tools to make it happen, or you're improvising. Either way, is there anything else you want to do information-wise together before we start honing in on how you're going to go about this?
So hold on.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
What's our goal here? Why are we going out? Just to confront this lady?
You confront this lady and steal her laptop.
Oh, yeah.
Her laptop is the score. Got it. Okay.
If she's doing her own thing out there, she's gonna have her own tech. She'll have her personal files on her laptop with her.
Okay.
You know this from your information gathered. She takes it with her when she leaves. If you can get her out there, get past her guard, get past whatever horrors await, steal that. It's a big payday and more jobs to come, because that information will lead to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing.
Because at work and at home, she's too close to what's his face, and the security's too high.
Yeah, typically. I mean, if you want to do something different, there's another way. This is the best way that I would say you've seen to do it. Like, at your current tier of technology and power, you are a brand new team in the game, and you're trying to find the most optimal way to utilize what little resources you have to get big jobs done. This is still kind of kicking above your station, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's better than the alternative options.
Okay, so I think Marge would have asked Olivia to secure a copy, like the same model, either of Shannon's laptop or her laptop bag, so that we had something that looked very similar.
I like that a lot. Normally that would
Just
come
a
flashback in it, but I'm just, that's fine. Well,
just in case there's the opportunity for a switcheroo.
Yes, I do like it. I think we'll go with it. I have to look into this. I think typically that would be a downtime activity to acquire an asset to help in the next mission.
You didn't give me that opportunity.
Well, we did our downtimes. You used your two. You got a bird. You acquired a different asset. But I think in this case, that's a pretty small ask. I think it's cool. I'm totally down with it.
All right.
So maybe you have that kind of ready to go. Do you guys want to plan this thing?
Yeah, let's plan this thing.
Let's plan
Wait, we're not planning. We're jumping in, right?
Well, we got to plan how you're going to jump in. So, let's talk about this first of all. When you go into this, you are going to be doing one kind of mission. Let me pull up a... Here it is. Okay. When you're going into this, any mission in Blades in the Dark, you have basically 6 different options for how this starts off. You have, is this going to be an assault? Are you going to do violence to a target to kind of get this thing going? In which case, the question is, what is your point of attack? Are you going to do a deception, lure, trick, or manipulate your target? In that case, what's your mask? How are you going to deceive them? Is this an occult way of doing it? Are you going to engage a supernatural power? In this case, it's going to be more like hacking, data stream, whatever. In which case, what's your method for getting involved that way? Social. Are you going to negotiate, bargain, or persuade your way into this situation, into your opening move? In that case, what's your social connection? Stealth. Are you going to trespass unseen? In which case, what's the point of infiltration? And transport. carry cargo through danger, what's the route and the means. Now, you tell me what you're going to do. Sounds to me like you're leaning towards a stealth because you have a point of infiltration, right? You just need to get out there unnoticed. But if there's something that sounds better to you and you have a different way, like if you want to engage a power, you could probably use the data stream and move through it if you want to get weird about it, or create a program to open your own hole. That's something that's totally within your rights and powers. If you want to try deceive or bargain with the guards and at the main gate, totally possible. If you want to assault the PiRon IT guards at the gate to get out, that's
a choice.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like no matter what we do, we need to at least stealth to get through the firewall. And then how we address Shannon is, do we address it with stealth? Do we address it with deception? Or the third option, I think, is maybe a cult. Maybe Olivia can come up with some weird...
That's definitely in her toolbox.
Right, exactly, yeah. So how does that work, David, where we know we need to use stealth to get into the play arena, but then we're not sure, or at least Steven, I'm not sure exactly what we want to do for once we're in there.
That's how it goes. So we're just talking about what your first move is going to be. Because if you stealth to get in, after that, you could stealth into a place and then just full guns blazing, take everyone out, and it's still going to start off as a stealth because you're using your entry point. It's all about the detail. What you're
okay. Then I think we kind of need to start off with stealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
that's the only way that Switch knows how to do something like that too.
That's your strong suit, yeah. And you have.
And he is pretty big on prowl too, which could come in handy.
Okay, I like this a lot. Okay, you have your way in. Next question is gonna be load. We didn't do this last time, but this time around we actually can do load. Now, if you look at your sheets, you'll see that you have above your items, you have three options for load. You have light, normal, and heavy. Now what this means is anything that's not in italics, if you want to use it during this mission, you got to click it, and that's going to count for whatever those. If you're light, you have 3 clicks. Normal, you get 5. Heavy, you get 6. Light load, pretty unnoticed, right? You were light load last time because you were literally in a Sarge Bucks and you didn't want to look like you were up to no good because you were just sitting around drinking coffee before you got started. If someone sees you on the street and you're on light load, you don't look like you're up to no good. When you get to normal load, though, you might raise an eyebrow, turn some heads. People might think, well, that's kind of weird. It's a pretty thick coat, pretty big backpack. I don't know if I trust that person. And there's heavy load, which basically means you look like you're going to war. You look like you're up to no good. But if you're going outside the city, you're loading up then, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world. It might not matter after a certain point, right?
I almost feel like in this zone outside of the firewall, I almost feel like normal kind of acts as light and heavy kind of acts as normal is kind of what what I would imagine if I was in that situation in real life. For that reason, Marge is going to go with normal.
Okay. So you got probably a whole backpack with stuff in it. Yeah, I love it. Okay, Marge is on normal. Switch, what about you?
Switch is going light.
Okay.
And remind me what you said about the italics again.
Italics are free. They don't count as your load. So you click on italics and you just have them. They cost 0 load anything italics.
Okay.
The bold ones do though, right?
The bold ones do.
The bold ones do.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, he's going light then.
Okay.
Two of what I selected were italics, so
you also might notice there are items that cost 2 load, like demolition tools that cost 2 load. Climbing gear, that's 2 load. Those could be very nice things to have, but armor, things like plus heavy armor, that's 3 load if you want that, but you can take on physical damage essentially. Okay. We got a normal, we got a light. And now we're sliding over to you, Angel.
I definitely think, based on where we're headed, she's going for heavy load because she's a whisper out among viruses. She's going to
Yeah.
have all her crap,
Yeah.
and that's
A
not
lot
even
of
weird.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, we have this whole full spread. That's great. Okay. Okay, so you look like you show up full tech, ready to go. What's that look like? I'm curious. Like, you just have like all sorts of cool apparatus. I mean, yes, you can't really say what it is because you don't know what you use until you use it.
You can pick it as you go.
Yeah.
So I totally think in her case, it literally is like the almost 80s jacket with shitloads of zipper pockets,
Hell
and cargo pants with a shitload of zipper pockets, and a JanSport.
Ooh.
JanSport.
A black JanSport. Yeah,
Oh,
Nice.
all the zipper pockets.
I love it. And with that, get your load, get your entry point. We know what kind of plan we're doing here. Let me switch up this music because we're about to get serious up in here. Because we're gonna do our engagement roll.
All right.
Ooh, baby.
More dice. I'm into it.
Oh yeah, we are gonna figure out.
Yeah, I'm excited to roll this session.
I'm the only one who's rolled dice yet.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
know.
There's a lot of setup. We'll do some character stuff. Next session, we're in the whole thing for the whole time. We're probably not going to finish it tonight because, it's 8:30. But
Next session. Do you mean in 3 weeks, David? The first Tuesday of the month?
I do indeed mean 3 weeks. Unless Steven goofs up his internet again. Yeah. Steven. Who wants to be our roller for this? Someone who has multiple dice on hand.
Anybody but me. Because I've already rolled tonight.
Okay, who wants to be
Oh,
our
God.
roller?
Let's have Rochelle roll.
Rochelle, you wanna be our roller?
Rochelle, you're our
That seems
guest.
very- that seems
Come
very
on, roll some
appropriate, yeah.
die.
All right. How many die am I rolling here, David?
I'm going to start asking you some questions, and that's going to
Okay.
change your answers. So first of all, I want you to take 1d6 and put it out there for sheer luck. Always get 1 for sheer luck.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Is this operation bold or daring? Does it exploit a weakness, or do you have aid from friends?
Yes.
You have aid from a friend. So I think we actually get to all those things. Actually, I realized I should ask them one at a time. It's not. They're not. The way it was listed made it seem like it was all at once, but no. Okay, let's start with this. Is it bold or daring?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Put a dice out there.
Yeah.
Does it exploit a weakness in the target?
I mean, clearly.
Clearly, put a dice out there. So you're now up to 3 dice. Do you have aid from a friend? We already talked about that you do. We have Quads, the free data programmer, that is friends with Angel. So that's 4 dice right there. Now, next question. Is this operation particularly complicated? Is it a complex plan?
Yeah.
You think it is?
It
going
has potential to be very complicated.
We're going outside the firewall to try to steal this lady's laptop when she has armed security.
You know what? That's a good point. Normally, I would have said it was not that complicated, but you sold me on it, so take away a dice.
How is this not
Take away
complicated?
a dice. You lose a dice.
David.
You fool. You loser.
Hey, man,
Yeah.
Fucking
you
mad
set
man.
you set the mission,
You
and then you
lose,
read
sir.
the questions.
You get
Just
nothing.
because your mission answers your questions is not my problem.
Is your target strong against this approach?
So it's what, 17d6?
What? No, you lose a dice for that last one, you fool.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we're
That's
down
how
to
it
3.
works. You're down to 3. Is your target particularly
hate it.
strong against this? I would say, what do you think? I mean, I'd say probably not. I don't think there's any reason they'd be strong against this one. It's they're out there kind of like you are. They're not, because you're going out, you're catching them when they're not strong against it. Anywhere in White Crown they would be. But they're also, essentially just trying to survive out there too. So keep that dice. Do you have any rivals that could interfere on your sheets? Who would be your down arrow under Strange Friends? Who would be your rivals?
My rival is a receptionist. I don't see a receptionist coming out here.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
Rochelle.
your call.
Oh, Rochelle.
That you have to tell me there, David.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where Scab lives.
Scab, a Voidwalker. Now, Voidwalkers do live outside of the city. Typically, these are people who have been corrupted themselves, but maintain some part of their corporeal form. Oftentimes, they are people who have been possessed by a virus, sort of hacked by a virus for a very long time, and they kind of become this amalgamation of those sort of two minds. They are freed from a lot of the physical sort of restraints of their former bodies, but there's a cost to this. They are dangerous beings. Perhaps in your time trying to help Sophia, you've met with one. What do you think went wrong with Scab?
I think Sophia got greedy and started asking for too much. Right? Like too much help.
Okay.
Or for answers she had no business asking for somebody she'd just met.
Okay, yeah. Prying too deep into the life and the sort of perils of Voidwalkers. And you made an enemy. That does live outside the walls. Whether or not we'll see this enemy tonight, we'll see, but I think that could mean losing a die, right?
Sounds like it to me.
Sounds plausible.
All right then. And lastly, is the target a higher or lower tier than you? They would be a higher tier than you.
Yeah, definitely higher. I mean,
So-
it feels higher to me.
Take away one more dice. What do we got?
2.
So,
Okay.
2?
Unless I counted wrong.
So
Oh my God.
sad.
It started out so well.
It sounded great. We had like 4, and then we just started losing them.
What happened? Why did the questions get so much harder?
Test gets harder and harder. Okay. If you would roll that die, we will see where we're starting this off.
All right, here we go. Well, the good news is there's a 4 and a 6.
Ooh, nice.
That is a straight 6.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So, what this means is, because you know there's those positions in Blades in the Dark, right? You start off you can be in a desperate situation for a roll, risky, or controlled. Or in this case, if you crit, you can just you overcome any obstacle, whatever first obstacle you would reach. With a 6, you find that tunnel. You find your way down to the streets. You start off in a control position as we open up on our heroes. We'll just say moving through this, you move through this long cement tunnel beneath the humming, thrumming firewall above you. You are leaving Afterlife behind, perhaps for our 2 main sewing circle members for the first time. And we'll say, as you push up into the streets, you've caused no fanfare, you've caused no alarm, you are starting off in a controlled position. Now, I want to describe real quick what this place looks like, because you're going to sort of climb up, ding, 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 some rungs on a ladder, almost like climbing out of a sewer, pushing open a manhole to get out of this tunnel, and you slide into a weird place, a strange transitory space where a wall divides modern cityscape and fantastical medieval architecture. You see there's roads are smoothly paved, though painted to look like old cobblestone. Tall stone-built structures line the road that you're standing on, but through their windows you can see modern comforts and technology fill them. Sconces and street lamps clearly hold light bulbs, yet none seem to be functioning any longer. This is a very odd place, a thorough yet hollow recreation of something old and magical. You can see maybe etched on that mantle cover you move, and maybe on some various statues you can see maybe here and there in the city. They show strange humanoids with serpentine bodies and stretched out features, some aspect of the game that this was modeled after. And you are standing in this place. it is silent around you. You are in a control position for this first roll, and my question for you now is, how do you intend to track your target? You know she left. How do you want to find her?
Well, geez, we know what she's studying, sort of. Well, is now a good time for a survey roll?
You tell me. You want to do a survey roll? I'm into it.
Yeah, I want to roll survey to figure out where I think someone would go who's filming a documentary about the Dying Lands. Is that what we called it?
The Lost District.
The Lost Lands.
I like the Dying Lands too. Yeah, okay. All right. This is
Shit me not, man.
Standard.
I'm gonna do this real slow and easy. Hold on, let me pull up my thing so I can see if you can see what I can see.
What's going on?
That's
Nice.
That's 2 6s, my
great.
man.
Yeah.
6 is crit already.
That's 2 6s.
Okay.
You tell me exactly where Shannon is right now.
I'm going to. You slide out of this manhole. You look around the city, and I will say, perhaps through rumor you heard, you might know a little more where she wants to be. But you do think, where would I go? Where would I be if I was here? And your eyes are drawn up the streets, which slope upwards. They go farther out, past all the houses. And as you kind of like almost framed in your vision, there's a fountain plaza up ahead, and just beyond that, sort of looming over this medieval city, there's a castle.
Yeah, so Marge is scanning the skyline and she says, Switch, what do you suppose is the likelihood that if you were filming a documentary here, you might start there at the creepy castle? And she points up into the sky at the creepy castle.
That looks like the only place to start.
Honestly, with 2 6s, as you're pointing at it, you see like the briefest flash of light in one of the upper windows. Like, so there's no light out here, so it's notable for a moment that something is moving up there. It's very quick. They're trying to be careful, but you catch the exact moment when like a flashlight turns towards a window, then moves away, and you're like, okay, there is someone up there. With a crit, you know where they are. I'm back to
Olivia.
I should give you something else too.
Yeah, you
Crits,
should.
You know, a success will tell you that. A crit should give you a little more.
Well, maybe a crit could answer Marge's next question to Olivia, which is, Olivia, do you think the path is safe? Can you see a safe way to get us there without any complications?
I imagine there's always complications out here, but
I rolled a
there.
crit.
You did. So maybe we know what those complications are.
Okay, you know what? I like this. With that crit and with your knowledge, Olivia, like I said, your ally was part of Free Data. So I imagine maybe there's like a symbol. Let's imagine like a square, like a screen with X's cutting through it. You know that you see a symbol etched on a tile here near you, and you look up and you can see a similar symbol etched on the edge of a building, and you're like, okay, you guys had them on your person actually. There's these things called, in the normal blades called spirit-bane charms. I call them antivirus here. Essentially, they're small little programs to keep on your body that lesser viruses tend to not notice you or ignore you if you're with them. Some of them, if you draw attention, they might still see you, but these can typically keep you in a safer spot, right? Keep you unnoticed, assaulted. This pathway you're noting is lined by hidden charms. It is a pathway designed to repel viruses. And this pathway should lead you far enough into the city to get pretty darn close to that castle. That's your crit.
Nice.
Oh, dude. Okay. What is the likelihood that we can like disarm this path as we walk through it?
That's fun. So you want to make it harder to get back, but
harder for whoever doesn't have all the charms to get back. We're like disassembling this path that we have the tools to reassemble and get out.
I mean,
No.
yeah, that seems reasonable, right?
Right?
I'm trying to say there should be a roll about that. It doesn't seem like a hard thing to do. I guess finding them, gathering them, maybe built into some stuff. So you might need to do some like work to pull a few out. Let's do a roll about it. Roll about it. You start on the path. You begin to move. You point it out. You're sliding around, and you're kind of keeping your eyes out, trying to find things. What do you want to roll?
Well, hold on. Could this be a group action? Could Marge lead a group?
Yeah, absolutely you could. I love the idea of doing a group
This feels like a group action.
We haven't done a group action yet.
Well, actually, Olivia might be the one to roll or to lead the group, right? Depending on what we decide the role is for this.
Yes, so let me tell you what this is going to be.
My...
You all get to, I believe you get to roll what you want to roll. The thing with a group action is basically this. If anyone fails their roll, all the stress, there's going to be stress towards whoever's leading it, right? So,
okay.
Yes, you're going to gain stress for any failures, whoever you're leading this role, but if anyone passes it, everyone passes it. So it's more stress build up for one person, but more likely to succeed a roll, basically.
Okay, so the way I see this, so do we all have to roll the same skill?
Mojang. You do. Everyone makes an action roll using the same action.
Everyone
yes,
makes.
I wasn't sure if that was the case. That
Okay.
is the case.
So I'm thinking, Marge has a point in finesse.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's an argument to be made that finesse could be the right role. I know that Switch has finesse. I don't know about Olivia.
Olivia.
Switch got 2 in finesse.
Okay. Maybe study. Probably Tinker would be a good one. I would have a tough time really making the argument for anything else.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? What do you guys got? Where are your thoughts at?
Olivia's got 2 in Tinker
Okay.
and 1 in Study.
Switch has none in either of those.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's the problem with group actions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well.
Yep.
Okay. Marge can use her foresight to. Oh no, that's assisting. Never mind. All right. I think we want to start with somebody who's got 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the only one that we have somebody with 2 in, and then one person with 1 in, and then one person with 0 in is finesse.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yep.
Do we try it?
You want to do what makes you feel good about yourself. Let's sleep at night. Give me a role that you think fits the situation. You think finesse fits it?
To take these apart?
Mm-hmm.
You said we got to take them apart. It's a path, so finding them is easy.
All right.
Finding them is easy. The trick is taking them apart.
All right. You got me sold.
Does that make sense? Do we want to try it? It's a little bit of a risk. Switch has 2. Marge has 1. None for Olivia. Is this something that Marge could use her foresight assist in? 2 times per score, you can assist a teammate without paying stress.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or does it have to be in like a regular action, not a group action?
I feel like action roll, action modifiers. You know what? I mean, I think that you can, right?
Okay,
because you're still making an action roll. Anytime you make an action
Nice.
roll, you get to use action
Sure.
modifiers. So you're still going to take the stress, but you don't because you're using your ability.
Yeah, so we're on the first charm that we're taking apart, and Switch is taking the lead. He's taking it apart, and Marge is talking to Olivia. You see how he pulls that wire but he pulls it in a way where he doesn't want to. You don't want to break it, because if you break it, then we can't get out of here. We need to keep these intact in order for us to rebuild the path and somehow explain. I don't know why Marge can explain this charm to a tech whiz. Man, okay? Because it's a game.
Oh my god.
I guess just got Marge blamed. It's pretty great.
You just got Marge planed. I love it. Marge planning.
Yeah.
True HR. I love it so much. Let me tell you how to do your job. IT. It's what?
Yeah, exactly.
So
The best single roll counts as the action result.
yes.
So Jeremy rolls 2,
Mhm.
and Rochelle and I each roll 1, and the best counts as the action result.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So if Jeremy crits,
All right.
that'd actually be a crit for this whole thing. So yeah.
All right.
Sweet.
Here we go.
There we go.
Cool.
4.
Also a 4.
5.
5. Okay.
All right.
That's a success with a complication, but everybody here passed, so you actually take no stress, group leader, because you have to put
Hey.
1, 2, or 3 for
Nice.
So no stress gained, and you get a 5. Solid. Here's your 5. I'm gonna start a clock. I'm gonna make it I think 8 segments here. Because this is a bad one.
Yikes.
And I'm gonna put 1 segment on it right now because small complication. I should have said it. That was going to be a standard because you're doing anything that can kind of like maybe garner some attention out here for our standard effect. Risky move. Risky means take 1 stress if you get a complication. So you're moving. And maybe you're like fizzling one of these things, and maybe like I said, it's dead quiet out here. Maybe you find like one is just behind a stone, you pop it out, and you can hear it go kink, 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 falls out, makes some sound that echoes through, and you just hear this strange, almost like phantom crying from a nearby structure. You just feel like the air fuzzes around you. The building sort of almost like a tremor runs through them. They look unreal for a second. For a moment, the Lost District noticed you. For a moment. I'm putting 1 segment on 8-segment clock, which is, I'm going to call it the Lost District finds you. You do not want this clock to fill.
I don't like that.
You hear just a weird, as you kind of keep moving, you hear that baby's crying, this strange, fuzzy sounding baby crying, sort of drown out, moving further away. I mean, like, when you go to Afterlife, babies can show up here. Everyone stays the age they are in Afterlife, but if you're under 25, you'll age 25 and stop aging there. That's how that system works. But viruses don't age. Viruses don't change at all, and so whatever you leave behind there, some echo of something that was, it's sad and it's scary, and you just move until it vanishes behind you. And you are pulling these devices. You've got a number of them now. As you're lining this path, you are again moving through alleys, kind of behind structures, crossing the main thoroughfare here and there. You look into windows and see just like dusty computers, like that's like a couple of like home offices looks like here, a couple places where people would look like they'd hold meetings. Well, this district on the outside is made to look like some medieval city, made to look like some video game city. The buildings on the inside are homes and they're offices, and they are made to look like any apartment or office you would see in the main city of Afterlife itself. But you push through all that, push up the road, and with your successes you've had, you find yourselves very near to this looming castle, this huge structure that's kind of oversees everything around. This is the only true like skyscraper-esque building out here, while this region's a little more expansive than the rest. It only has one huge building. And this is probably where like the main offices for Stormsmith Entertainment would have been before. Maybe like some major development studios off in some of these wings here. You don't see any lights in the windows now, but you know they were somewhere up high. How do you want to get in? You see, maybe in classic format, there is a large moat surrounding this castle. There is a drawbridge style door that's just kind of down, leading into the main way. But you do think that's pretty exposed. If there was another way in, maybe you'd feel a little safer. Because, I mean, any eyes in the city are going to see that drawbridge, going to see that tunnel in, see that way, that path forward. What do you want to do here?
Let's see. Marge pulls out a set of blueprints.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. So yeah, you have some blueprints of the Lost City. I mean, you just have them. Whatever. That's reasonable. You were looking into this.
From her 6 on the study roll earlier.
I mean,
or I think it was a 6. I don't know, but she's got them.
Okay, that's really good.
It's part of her italics kit.
I want you to make a roll here. It's controlled, and because of the blueprints, I'm going to say this is going to have, normally you wouldn't be able to make a roll for standard effect here. This is going to be a standard effect roll. You do what you want to do. Controlled, there's really no major ramifications. This first time, you're just studying this over to see if you can find a good way in.
Okay. So just a single die?
Whatever you want to roll. You tell me.
Oh, okay.
The blueprints
then
this roll better.
I mean, she's surveying a location, right?
Makes sense to me.
Location. She's got blueprints to do it, so I'm going to use survey.
Hell yeah.
1 and a 3.
Okay. Ooh. 1 and a 3.
Come on, Mike. Camera.
It's controlled, so there's no consequence, but you do not succeed. So what I'm going to say here is you're looking over these blueprints and you don't see any ways that seem easy, right? It's like you're looking at this and you're like, okay, yeah, there used to be ramps that would lead kind of over in the backs because, of course, there's going to be places really to go, loading docks for maybe the employee cafeteria and all that. You might want to move around that way. Maybe you move around the structure carefully, but you see that any sort of bridges there are broken down. There is a doorway across. There is a way, but it's not easy to get to.
I can't make sense of it. There's parts on these that are smudged, and it doesn't quite line up with the building that we're seeing. I can't find a way in.
These are blueprints back when this thing was probably new, not its current state following the cataclysm. So no one's mapped it since then. So yeah.
Who else thinks they could find a way in?
You can just move down the main way if you want. I mean,
I guess we could just open the drawbridge.
Can Olivia literally look at the code and figure out how to get in?
Ooh. Put on her green tinted glasses.
Exactly. And see if I can literally attune and see where it is.
I like this a lot. Now, attuning lets you see events from the past too. What I can imagine potentially is you're seeing how did they get in.
Oh, great! That's so good.
Really, really so cool. Good. Really cool. 100%. Yes. This is going to be. Right. I'm gonna say another control. No, you know what? Anytime you open up and look into the data stream, it's a little risky. You can see too much. You become overwhelmed by it. It can harm you. It can alert things to you. So it's going to be risky for standard effect.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That is a 4, 3, and a 5.
Okay. hell yeah, okay. You peek through. Oh, what should I do here? Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is what we'll do. I mentioned before there was some back ways and perhaps ways into like a cafeteria, and perhaps a more like janitorial entrance you're seeing. You're moving around. You like look into the data stream. You can see like footprints, figures moving, sort of like a holographic almost image of them just moving. You see a squad of 6. You see probably like kind of vague and fuzzy, a very petite, small frame woman sort of leading them. There's a larger kind of old-looking man with a camera rig sort of following, and then kind of behind them and grouped out 4 figures in some kind of like, it looks like an armor. They have this these weapons with them. They're like these weird hooks with just this crackling kind of energy that as you look into the data stream, they're the one things that aren't fuzzy, like they exist in some way in this version of the world too. They are made with the kind of world code that lets them sort of strike at things that are made of that same code. You see them move around to one of these back entrances. You kind of follow them around the moat, and you watch as they essentially like one of them, I think, pulls out maybe like a full grapple kind of like gun, fires across, strikes into it, and they just slide across, and you can see where it's tied off, where this thing was set up, it's still there. Hard to notice at first because it's just this black cable hanging. You're like, wait a second, the way in, their way in, is still right there, and it was subtle enough to get them in unnoticed. So you're seeing this though. And as you're kind of looking for a moment, you feel an eye on you. I think you glance to the side and like there's just a face right beside you. That vanishes. And I'm going to add one more.
No segment.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Something else.
Yeah.
Has noted you. 6 segments left on the very bad clock.
Wow.
Because that is your complication.
Okay.
But you see a way in. There's a way in now. You know how they got in. You know they must be, at least we're safe enough that you saw the flashlight a little earlier. What do you want to do?
I mean, I guess make our way up to that line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if we can't slide across.
I'm going to say if they were all able to do it, it's probably designed. It's not a long, huge moat. I'm not going to make a roll for this one because I think having found that was so cool, it just makes sense for you to just use the way in, right? I don't want to make a roll for literally every tiny thing. This is cool as hell. Does that make that fair to you guys?
I mean, sure, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm happy to get in for free.
If the whole crew with camera guy, the sort of main producer assistant, if Shannon was able to get in, I don't see why this crew of at least burgeoning criminal corporate climbers, I don't see why you couldn't do it. So we'll just say you find like whatever they had to slide across. They had a few like different like bars they used. You grab one, you slide, toss it back, slide, and all of you are standing at this sort of back entrance. It's a very old sort of oaken door, iron barred. You pull it open with a slight groan, and you are looking into just like the back rooms of this castle. You see just white tile, white walls. It's like weird, almost like blinding for a second after being this dull gray outside, because it's very modern looking suddenly in here. You see like maybe like I think you're walking into a laundry room of some sort, like a uniform laundry room. You're pushing past just these closed down machines, again gathering dust. There's hanging clothes just slightly waving in perhaps no breeze at all. It's kind of unsettling.
So creepy.
And you're moving in. So far, maybe you've seen like images here and there, like maybe you look back across and you can see for a moment like that whatever it was you saw just appears for a second, and like in like a sort of a pixely rearranging of the world around, and is just watching. And his eyes start turning and scanning and gone again. These things are out here. But you're in. Now you need to find your target. What do you want to do?
I mean, I don't think there's anything we need to do in this room other than move further in through the creepy waving sheets and laundry that are hanging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We want to find a set of stairs and go up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You begin to move. I guess, and honestly, let's just say you're moving. I don't think we need to roll for moving. Exploring deeper in. I'll just continue narrating for a moment as Steven's doing his thing. You push down, again, white hallways, leave the laundry room, pushing out into just another sort of sterile environment. You're moving past doorways into closets, into various like legal facilities. And eventually you find a door, another one that's shaped like a lot of these are very like modern. And you find another one that's that same sort of big oak. Looks like it's part of the game, looks like it's part of the fantasy. You push that open, you find yourself in another sort of weird amalgamation of modern technology and old medieval style architecture. You just see like stone walls, stone floor, tiled. You see sconces lining, again, all light bulbs that are out. It's quite dark here. Almost completely dark. We're kind of making out just what's. I think of this like these rooms here. Maybe there's some kind of ambient light filtering from windows. As you enter this area, it's like this. The windows are smaller, thinner things. There's a lot less light coming in. Do you have any way of seeing in this?
Most certainly. Let me see. What can I click on my? I'll just click a light. Marge will pull a light out of her bag.
Hell yeah. Marge is leading the way with a light then. You shine a light, but trying to avoid any windows. You are moving carefully. You mentioned finding stairs, and I'll say you kind of round one long sort of hall, and you look up and you see this grand staircase moving up into the higher floor. You remember seeing the light was on a higher floor earlier on when you saw people moving, so you imagine maybe they're up high, right?
That's the play anyway.
Okay. You climb the stairs, and you're just reaching that very top. Perhaps you're turning towards the western wing, because as you hit this up the stairs, it's like a hall that branches off both ways, doors lining it. Again, all kind of in the fantasy, all looking like some grand medieval castle. You turn towards that direction. And that's when you hear the scream. Not a virus. No, this did not sound hazy. This did not sound blurred. This sounded real. Because it was a real scream. In this moment, you think perhaps it was Shannon's scream. And I think we're going to pick up from here on our next stream in 3 weeks in March. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for playing tonight. Rochelle, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Rochelle.
Yeah.
I think,
So glad to have Olivia on the team.
Yes. And let's see what Olivia can do when we see some real danger coming up, because things are about to get very hot and maybe very scary. That's all we got tonight, folks. Thank you all so much. We'll call it there.